and say, hey, I guess you're going to have to cut him, bill me, because I can't do it. Well, they hate me as it is, so what's one more coffin in the nail or whatever? I parked my car in my front yard one day because I really couldn't park two cars in the driveway, but so I parked it behind my tree, which is nowhere on the city lot, and they came by and threatened to give me a ticket. Bylaw says you can't park here. It's my property. I should be able to park wherever I damn well please. Yeah, they cracked down on that here last year because a lot of the students, they got more students nowhere to park, and they'll park on the front lawn and whatever, and they cracked down on that. Only time I park on the front lawn is when I'm washing my car. I don't have a driveway, and 1 month I'm parked on my side where the house is, it's not a problem. And the next month I'm on the other side. Well, the months where I'm on the other side, I just pull my car up on the grass, in between the sidewalk and the road, so people can still walk down the sidewalk. You know, if somebody's in a wheelchair, they can get by no problem. And I wash my car and then put it back. But I mean, it's only on there for maybe a half hour. But the bylaw officers here in Windsor, generally they don't look for nothing. They wait till they get a complaint and then they go investigate. And if somebody complains about something I'm doing, let's say my grass isn't cut, the next door neighbor could have grass twice as long. They won't even look at it until somebody complains. It's really weird how they do things up here. But yeah, it's kind of ridiculous. You know, what you're allowed and not allowed to do. Like, a lot of it's just a money grab from the town or city or whatever, I think. Yeah, I hear you loud and clear, because that's my opinion. It's all the money. If they don't get any money out of it, forget it. So, oh well. What are you going to do when you live in a shoe? The problem with letting the city do it, man, they charge you probably like $150 for one cutting. So they, but get this, years ago, I lived on Edison Street, which is down the road and around the corner, and there was an empty lot. A house had burnt down. They never replaced it, and the city ended up owning it. And they never cut the grass, and I complained and complained and complained. So they finally got out and they cut it once, all summer long. I mean, it was a big hayfield. So when they own property, they don't have to do anything. But man, if you own property, you better keep it up to date. Yeah, I was going to say, hey, just don't pay your taxes. Watch how quick they'll come. What they do is they cut your grass because you won't, and they just tack it onto your taxes. They won't charge you, you know, like a bill, because they know if you don't pay your taxes, you're going to lose the house. So, well, what are you going to do? You think, well, I don't know, that happened last year, I'm assuming. I would hope that they have better things to worry about than that this year. Yeah, look at it this way. I'm going to use the excuse I can't go to the gas store and pick up gas. So, there you go. COVID is stopping me. That's right. Yeah, there's some days I'm not feeling too good, and it's rough to do it, but got to be done. And this crop keeps up like we're getting. I might be cutting it in the rain, because mine's gonna, I could get out there and cut the back right now. It kind of does need it, but I'm going to give it another week of drying out. But anyway, so what else have you been up to? Did you make any contacts on two side Dan? Was it the 2-meter loops you got up, or the 6-meter loops? I can't remember, but did you get up down there and make any contacts? Oh, yes and no. Sean and I got talking on at SGM. We were talking on the halos. He's just hearing me well enough, which is not bad, I guess, from Puce Road to here. That'd be about 40 kilometers, maybe a little more. So not bad. And then when I threw the amp on, it jumped up to 7. So not bad for 12 feet off the ground. Well, that's pretty good. The first thing I did, I wouldn't even bother with the sleep hour. First thing I did, when I turned everything on, is turn the radio on and turn the brick on, and away I go. I never messed around. Even when I was talking to somebody 10 miles away, I didn't care. The way I looked at it is, I want them to hear me, and if anybody out there, 100 miles away is out there, I want them to hear me, so maybe they can jump in. So I never bothered with barefoot. I was always quick to amp setup on, but that's good. Well, Sean's got a pretty good setup too, so not too shabby.
He's got your old 13B2, right?
Well, that's not my old one. He sold mine, I'm pretty sure, to Donnie. He's had that up for a while, but it is a 13B2. Is that what you're running, a 13B2?
A 17B2, but I'm not running it now because it's still on the ground. Actually, it's in 3 pieces, and I'm replacing all the elements on it. I got one of the sections done, and every time I want to go out and do it, it's either gets too cold or too snowy or too rainy, or it's almost like I got to wait till May.
That's what I meant. That's what you're going to be running. Well, if you ever do get another one and want to stack them, I do have the phasing harness. I never gave that up when I sold the antennas because I sold them separately, and I'm pretty sure I still know where it is. So I do have a phasing harness to stack 2 13B2 here. It's yours free of charge if you want it.
I'll take it. I won't even argue about it. I'll take it, even if I don't do it this year. I used to have 2 17B2s stacked. I'm not sure what it's going to be like to just run one, because I almost went immediately to 2 of them.
I'll go down tomorrow, make sure I can find it, and I'll put it up here. It's 13B2s. I don't know if the hardness is for 17B2s or not. My 13B2s had to be 9.3 inches apart. Now, I don't know if that has to do with just the frequency or the boom length. I don't know how they figure that out, but that's what that phasing harness was for. So I'll give it to you anyway. But if you're running 17B2, I don't know if they're the same. You'd have to look into that.
Well, I kind of think 10 or 11 was the number, but you know what? It's okay. I'll just add a couple of feet to it. It shouldn't really be that difficult.
I had people tell me, I got the direct spacing right from Chris-Craft, but I had people tell me back in the day when I was first figuring this out that, you know what, that's the optimum spacing, but if you got to go closer together or whatever, it's not going to hurt it too bad. But, okay, I'll dig it out, throw it in the closet behind me, and then if we ever get out of lockdown, I'll pass it off to you. I go to Leamington once a month when we have club meetings, and I'll be out there for field day, if we have field day, which I'm starting to doubt as well.
Here, it'll be a virtual field day. They'll still have it. You just won't have a club day where the club does it. I doubt they'll cancel any of the contests or the field days. You won't, and I guess it's like this. The law says you can't have more than 5 people, so I suppose if you really wanted to, you could get 3 or 4 people together and have your own field day.
I mean, not a big deal. We don't do it at the club. I won't do it. I mean, I was thinking about this too. If they're still in the lockdown, I may just jump in the car and sit by the river and just hand out points. I got a 40 and a 20 meter ham stick, so, I can have points that way. I mean, that's the end of June, so they might be 70 back to normal. Thing is, our club is held at an old age facility, and that's where we do field days. So even if restrictions are limited, we may have to change our location from there this year because they're going to be pretty paranoid. So I think Mike said if we have to and it still goes on, we could go back to his place for 1 year if we had to. But we'll have to see. It's a couple months away, so no biggie one way or the other. I know I do enjoy that though every year, so we'll see what happens. But like I say, if it's canceled, I'll maybe go down by the river and play a little HF mobile, something I haven't did in a while.
Yeah, that's all things being what they are, that's probably a good thing. You never know. Maybe I'll just for that May one, if I don't, I might just run down towards the lake, take the 2 meter loops and stick them on pipe and hang them out the back window, as they say, and I don't have to turn it because it's omnidirectional, and just go from there.
June, I don't know why you keep saying May, but it's June, and you know what? I bet you'd work a lot of stations that way, too.
I think so. If I was right on the water, go down to the marina, it will be closed, so I'd have the whole marina to myself. You know what I find funny, although it's not that funny, the ferry is still running to Pelee Island back and forth. Kind of what, like, does that mean we can all go to Pelee Island, or just residents?
A lot of goods and stuff. I'm thinking just residents. I don't think any of the touristy places, the winery and all that stuff. I doubt very much. Well, I'm sure the motels are all closed. So yeah, I'm thinking just residents and you know, truckers that have to bring supplies there and that kind of thing.
I get that. I just, you know, I'm sure there's a lot of people have cottages, but weren't we told not to go to our cottages?
And yet Trudeau went to his, although they say it's an official residence, so I guess he, you know, once again, flies under the radar, apparently.
Well, don't do as I do, do as I say. Yeah, well, what are you going to do? You know, if you got money and you got power, you do whatever you want anyways.
Yeah, overall, the guy's an idiot, but I think he's been handling it okay. So, yeah, campgrounds are all closed too. I seen a story on some snowbirds that came back, and they let them self-isolate in their trailer, which is somewhere here in the area, but then they kicked them out after 2 weeks because all the trailer parks are closed. And I see why they do it, but me and the wife both agree that, hey, if you're a snowbird and you got a trailer down south and live there, and then you got a trailer up here and live in it, and you can prove that's your residence, they should let you stay. Where the hell else are you going to go? They end up going to a motel, which they don't have the money to, but they have to stay in a motel. I mean, you know, it's an easy thing to check. I mean, you know, you could send a bylaw guy in that trailer park and just make sure anybody that's there actually lives there all year long and is not a, you know, a seasonal camper. I mean, that's getting a bit ridiculous. These poor people have nowhere to go.
The other thing is, if they're snowbirds, they are seasonal, 6 months, but I hear what you're saying, and I agree. They should be allowed to go to their campground or a campsite. I mean, it's not like it's like what is that, what's that lake that's just, Crystal Lake? No, what? Oh man, I forgot the name of it. You know where it is, right here, just north of Leamington on the town line. There's 2 little ponds. I don't know why they call it a lake. But I guess, you know, we're not in Texas, so we can call a mill pond, we can call it a lake.
Leisure Lake? I know the one you're talking about. I never went in there, but I think it's Leisure Lake, isn't it? Both of my brother-in-laws, or 2 of my brother-in-laws, have trailers in Sturgeon Woods, the one just on Point Gilly Drive. I think it's Sturgeon Woods. Now I'm losing it. And the one just bought that trailer last year. The other one's had a trailer for a few years, so they're bumming out. And I don't blame them. Spent all that money, and, you know, half the summer's going to be gone before they're allowed to go back there.
Right, it is Leisure Lake at Sturgeon Woods. Very good. I'll have to write down a note here not to ask you a trivia question.
It's about Leamington, maybe I'll get it all right, but I suck at trivia. That's why I usually pass on Brian's questions, and I listen along. I think I got maybe 1 or 2 right over the whole time he did them, but yeah, I suck at trivia.
Well, you know, just because we have a ham radio and we operate a ham license and et cetera, it don't mean we know everything that happened since Marconi, you know what I mean?
That, I guess, in geography, and I learned that from the radio more than the school, just because of talking around the world. But, yeah. You know, when I was a kid, I went with with my friend one weekend, or for a week, with his parents and him. They had a trailer, and I had a good time. And we've been out to my brother-in-law's once or twice for different events out there. And I could not get into that. When I was a kid, it didn't hit me like this, but going there now, it's like everything's packed together. It's like it's worse than living in the city. I don't see the allure of doing that. I mean, that's where the trailer sits. It sits there all year long. Of course, you can only use it during the season. But their trailers are closer than my houses are to my neighbors. And I don't know, man. I could not get into that at all. You're packed in there like sardines. If I want to go camping or go somewhere, I want some space between me. Even a regular tent campground, you have more space between you than you do in those trailer parks. Christ. Never realized that when I was a kid, but I sure did notice that when I started going out to my brother-in-law's, I'll tell you.
Last time you were at Algonquin Park?
Never been there. I'd like to go, but I don't tent camp anymore. You'll be calling an ambulance on me after I sleep on the ground for a night.
Yeah, well, last time I was there, I don't go camping. I just go for day trips. I do stay at a hotel. There's no way I would sleep on the ground either. But oh no, their campsites, they're open. And it's pretty much like what you remember the trailer park, sort of. The only difference is you've got a tent, not a trailer. And hey, look at it this way: if you got a trailer at a trailer park, even though you're packed in, you've got a small yard where you can have a fire. You don't have to worry about the city ordinance because it's nice. I've lived at a couple houses where we could have like a little bonfire out on the weekend and enjoy the summer, if you would. Can't do it here in this town.
It is nice, and he does a real nice fire pit, and he built up a deck and everything else. It's a really nice setup. It's just I don't know. I'd rather get a boat, sit on a boat. But anyway, yeah, what was it, Amherstburg or is it Lakeshore? Just a year or so ago, will allow you to have the backyard birds. You just got to get a permit, and they're not real expensive. And I think that's great. I mean, I don't see a problem with that either if you do it within reason, as long as you're not in a small city property like you and I, and you get a 10-foot bonfire going, you'd be ridiculous. And yeah, but I mean, a little fire, I mean, yeah, that's, not a problem. But nope, can't do it.
In Leamington, you have to get a permit. You have to get the property inspected, and then they'll tell you yes or no. So if you've got too many trees or whatever in your backyard, there's something, I'm trying to think, it can't be any closer than 10 feet to any combustible items. So that's a tree, a deck, a house. I got, let's see, 2 cherry trees, an apple tree, a pear tree, and a partridge. No. I used to have an ornamental olive. It got out of hand. I took it down. And, then when you look at it, I might have about 20 feet space between the house and the trees. I'd have to pinpoint that 10 feet really close.
A lot of trees on my property, too, for it being so small, but they're not all full of flies, and they're all on the perimeter pretty much. So I have one bush, lilac, is it? I'd have to rip that down, but me or the wife like it anyway. In fact, if the yard ever dries out and we get a nice day, I'm going to go cut that back again. So I would have a problem, but Windsor ain't never going to let you do that. They're idiots, so I'm not even worried about it.
Didn't mention the lilac trees or whatever they're called. I also have a thing called they're not mine. They came with those Rose of Sharon, and they were really nice and small 12 years ago. I'm trying to cut them back, but I tell you, they're like small trees.
Lilac thing, if that's what it is, purple flowers. I think that's what it is. Same thing. It's about 8 foot, 10 foot tall, probably 5, 6 foot wide, and we had that thing chopped right to the ground a few years ago, and it's right back to bigger than where it was before. I'd have to, literally rip it out by the roots, and I don't got nothing that I can do that with. So it's amazing how fast that damn thing comes back.